when they asked Lao Tzu what is real, he said that is real which never changes. So think about that which is never changes. You know, it's like, I remember Joel Goldsmith once saying that don't ever think that God's going to be doing anything different an hour from now than God is doing right now. And so that when you are asking God, you know, or asking your source to provide you with something that you feel is missing in your life, what you're really believing is that somehow God is going to do something different an hour from now than he's doing now. And behind that assumption is the belief that God or your source or the Tao is a withholding source. It's withholding. It's giving to some, and but that's a complete and total illusion. The Tao or God or the source withholds nothing. So that what you can do with all of this is to step outside of yourself, and in the quiet and in the peacefulness of your meditation or whatever, you can just notice. And you can notice that right now he's completely inspired and he's feeling terrific, and then you can notice also in this next moment that he's a little pissed off and he's a little upset about this, or he's a little depressed, or he just doesn't really feel like it. And you can almost become amused by all of that as you become the observer, as you become the noticer, as you become the witness, rather than that which, identifying yourself with that which is taking place within your body. And then I say to you, Stephen, welcome to the real world. I mean, welcome to the world that all of us, particularly I can speak for myself as a person who gets a lot done, that, I'm one of the laziest people I know. And as much as I get done, I sit around a lot and I meditate a lot. And there's lots of times when I just don't feel like writing, or I don't feel like doing any of this, and I don't feel like being up. And I don't feel like being anybody's guru, and I don't feel like being, and I feel like just going within, and sometimes I feel like just getting under the covers, and sometimes I feel like crying and just being sad. And then other times I watch myself and I notice that passes, and I feel just phenomenal. I feel absolutely great. And I sit down and the writing comes and it just flows and it's so beautiful. And then I'll just sit there right in the middle of that and say, wow, isn't this amazing? And knowing that in the midst of that great, good, wonderful feeling that I'm having, that it's very likely that, it's only a telephone call away from something happening to one of my kids someplace on the planet, or knowing that the news is going to come on and probably somebody else is going to blow themselves up and try to kill somebody, and all of it. You know what? You're as the witness, as Lao Tzu said, that when you understand that the only thing that's real is that which never changes, which is everything else in the world of the 10,000 things, everything in the physical world, in the material world, is in a constant state of coming and going, is up and down. It's good and bad, it's right and wrong, it's male and female, it's north and south, it's American and, Canadian or whatever it is. It's all of these things that we have done to escape from the oneness that we are, which is the oneness that when you're there, you just notice all of that. You smirk at it and you laugh at it, and you don't tell yourself there's anything bad happening. The closer you get to being a person who is God realized, the less these fluctuations will go up and down again.
And if you can learn how to cultivate just that one simple thing, to start to watch, to start to notice, to start to become the observer in your life. And even though you can't separate them, there is a oneness to all of them, of course. But when you start to stand back, and I was saying, you really are doing something pretty silly right here, and you're getting it, and it's like, poor Wayne, what a slob he is. I mean, he can't even fix a simple. I mean, I realize this, but I'm able to watch it and laugh about it. And as you're able to do this, you start to cultivate more of an attitude of, there's more to me than the pettiness that is going to be the problems that I'm going to encounter. And in our culture, in our world, we see an enormous amount of rage. We see people who are so identified with all of the stuff out there that has happened. And so many people don't know how to go here and get quiet, get peaceful. One of the people that I wrote about in this book was Blaise Pascal. Blaise Pascal was a great philosopher, but he was also a scientist. You had to remember Pascal's law, and you had to read about pressure and learn about all of that stuff in your physics class or in your chemistry classes or whatever. But he was also a great thinker. And he said, all of man's troubles stem from his inability to sit quietly in a room alone. We don't know how to get quiet. We don't know how to get peaceful. We don't know how to go within and summon that force within us, our connection to our source. Because so many of us are separated from our source through the ego, through this identification with all of the stuff that's out there happening. And so many of these teachers spoke about this quality of the soul, this quality of spirit, this quality of being more than just what you notice, more than what you observe.